It's January the 11th. Yeah. So, I had a crazy day today. Let's just say real, like, testimony or revelation, I guess, if you want to say. For me, that's how it felt. So, let me just start by saying for the past couple days, I have been thinking suicidal, but the difference between this suicidal is totally different than all my other ones. Only because, all right, so I woke up this morning, and for some reason, I rarely go out there and lay with my daughter. She's 10, by the way, about to be turning 11. I laid with her, I rubbed her back and was massaging it. And she was awake. She had her head turned the other way, and I wasn't crying. At least I didn't feel like I needed to cry, but it's a tear that just rolled down my face, which was weird. And then I was laying there and I remember like praying over her and saying, God help me be a better mom and how things been between me and her and I hope things just get this way with her. Just like, reminiscing in my head and praying over her, top of her. So just laid there for a little while and then finally I was like, you ready for me to get up? And I know she liked it because we don't do it that often. So when I do it, she acts like she don't like it, but she enjoys it because her body was relaxed. So I got up and I went in the room, and I still was depressed and I was sad, not knowing that that was something he was trying to send me at that time when he sent it to me, not thinking nothing of it. So I'm laying in the bed and I see my bottle of pills on the dresser, and I'm just like, I don't know, I just want the pain to stop. I just wanted to go away, and I was just crying like, oh my gosh, you know, do I take the pills or do I just take them to make me feel just a little better, for what I needed to do, whatever thing. But then I kept remember I got a medical marijuana too, so it's like a oil. So it's CBAC and THC together. So I'm like, well, should I just take that? But then something said take that, so I took it. Took a little more than I normally would take, just because I just wanted to like just relax and feel better and just not, stop being in my thoughts. So I laid there with it. We knew it. I started feeling it, and it was like, good feeling, then like, bad feeling. So cool, whatever. Then the first thing came in my head was all these emotions about what I'm going through in my relationships, friends, family, whatever, And I was like, all right, brush that way, whatever. Then one thought, the main thought that came in my head was about my youngest one. And it was so clear. It was like, she's here for a reason. I sent her to you for a reason. You got all these thoughts in your head about how you want to disappear and you don't want to be here and you don't have no purpose no more. And every time you think you feel like you're getting a step further, closer to your purpose, you know, it's still not there. And this, like I said, this thought of not being here was stronger than all the other ones I've had in my past. This one was the strongest. So whatever it was that he needed me to see was super strong because it was so clear, like as if he was standing in front of me, and I'm talking about God. And he was like, "She's here for a reason. I sent her here for a reason. She's here for this reason. She's that little girl that you was, the one you needed someone to protect you and be there for you and talk to you and just do the right things for you and to make sure you was good and not feel neglected. She that child that you're supposed to be in that I sent here for a reason for." And then the other part of me is like, She's that person that when you feeling like you can't be strong, you can't go on, you're not good enough, you can't be X, Y, and Z, you don't know your purpose and all these things. She's that person that I know that you want to be to her or what she needs, even though you don't see it in yourself. So the only way I can help you is to send her to you in a form and in a way that I made her to be. With all her issues, with all her flaws and disabilities and all that, I sent her for a reason. And you knew that when I sent her to you because you would always say, she's here for a reason. She's a gift to me for a reason. But still, yeah, you wasn't sure of her purpose. You named her clothes purposely made and unique my way for a reason. I gave you all those that popped up in your head for a reason, but yet you still didn't know. And you did all that for her because at that time, that's what she needed and she wanted. And then it was going to be different in time when a different life of yours changed, where she was going to be a different reason in your life. And you kept telling yourself she is here for a reason. The same way that when you was that little girl, you kept telling yourself, I'm different. Something is not right with me. I don't belong here. They a little different. I don't know what it is yet. And you will always tell yourself that all these challenges you're going through, I know they gotta be for a reason. And I'm never gonna question God, why me? But I just know for some reason I'm not supposed to look at it in a bad way, but in a good way. That all things, whether it feels good or bad, is gonna happen in your life for that reason, for that season. And then it's gonna change because nothing stays the same forever. And I'm gonna always be there to help you through all your challenges. But I had to send you a human person, a child specifically, in your life for a reason. So you can feel when that time is right that you have a purpose. And although it seemed like you felt her each time, as you felt like you was felt as you was a little girl or as you feeling yourself now, you're gonna always make sure you do whatever it takes to kind of make sure she's good. The same way you did with all your kids. But this one I sent to you is different. Each child was different. But this one you needed this at this time in your life from when I gave it to you. And although you felt like you wasn't going to have any more kids, and the doctor told you because you was on depo that it was going to take 6 months, no, I knew what you needed when you needed it. And many times you may feel you're not good enough for her, that you are good enough for her. You are made specifically for a reason for you. And I realized that when I had that moment, that Dad, he sent an angel to me to watch over me and protect me. And he also knew that one day was going to come where she wasn't going to be here and I was not going to be able to handle it. So it's a movie that I watched when she was super young. And it was about a man that had a daughter that died. And that he was not able to handle it. But when he put all these situations in his life that wasn't real, that he seen, he was able to handle it afterwards at the end. But it made me see that if he takes her today or tomorrow, that I'll be able to handle it because he seen that I was not. But once I seen that movie, it helped me realize like she's not here to stay. She doesn't belong to me. She has to go back with him. Helped me realize that also I handled it when my mom passed because I knew I didn't want her suffering and pain when she left. So I was able to handle her when she left because they're in the most better place than anybody could ever think of being in. So I accepted that. At the moment when I had that, I was started to cry. And I'm like, I need to tell somebody this. And I'm like, to certain people in my head that I was like, I'm going to call and tell. And then for some reason, my oldest daughter walked into the bedroom. And it was not meant for me to tell no one else at that time. It was meant for me to talk directly to her. And she stood there and she listened. And God made her say what he needed her to say to me. So yeah, he was talking to me at that moment when she walked in, and he was talking to me early that morning when I went and laid next to my daughter, not knowing that I was going to feel the way I felt about my little one in that moment of me taking the oil, that I was going to feel that way. It was like clarity, like I don't know, I needed to step in at this moment because you needed to see something, that you have purpose. And this, I was at my strongest on not being here. It made me see him like as if he was standing there. And then right after that, I have a friend that I see. And it's a girl, me cool and everything. We kick it, and I met her in the same place, a mental hospital. And me and her been super close and talking, and she's always there when I need her. She says the things I need to hear. And I noticed that when my mom passed away, I was not able to deal with certain things and situations. The time I thought about her, it was too hard. Music, anything, anybody said anything about her, just everything. And even though I accepted the fact that she wasn't here anymore, I don't know if I really dealt with thinking about her. And crazy because when I'm around her, she basically makes faces that look like my mom, like these different expressions. But like, wow, it's like my mom when she does that. And then I remember today that my mom, when we was younger, older, didn't matter how old we was, grown, she would always hold our hand when we walked across the street. Literally, hold our hand when we walk across. I don't care where we was at. And she does the same thing. Everywhere we go, she's always holding my hand when I'm crossing wherever or going in wherever. She's always holding my hand. And I never thought about my mom as much as I think about her now when I'm hanging out with her and stuff. So God needed me to see that. He needed me to know that. And even though I felt it, like I said with my youngest one, these things today made me see clearly. And even though I felt those things with her when I was around her, today made me see clarity, because today is the day he needed me to see, like, she's with me all the time in so many ways that I know. And that the thing that scares me the most is that will she continue to be with me? What happened when we can't kick it no more or be around each other no more, and that she was just here for a period of time? So it scares me a lot. But it also brought clarity to me to see things in a different perspective, which was great for both. And then I also remember about a month ago or whatever, having a dream that I never had before ever, and it was so scary to the point when I woke up, I didn't want to go back to sleep. But at the time when I was having a dream, it was like these monsters coming and appearing in my dream where they had faces like zombies or creepers or something. And it was so scary, and it was always grabbing at me and pulling at me. And every time I was trying to get away from them or find a way to go around them, I would jump into another dream as if I was asleep, but not sleep. Like as if I was asleep and waking out of a sleep, because I kept jumping, but I was jumping into another dream that was similar to that, but just a different atmosphere and a different creature. And then I would do the same, and I just keep having the same dream of creatures pulling and grabbing me, and me trying to get away. And then I never had a dream like that no more. It was just, and I didn't understand, and I kept asking, why did I have that dream? Where did it come from? That was the most scariest thing I've ever experienced. And when I was talking to my daughter the other day, she just was like, me and her was just talking about it, and it made me realize, and she made me realize when God was talking through her, it was like, there's demons and creatures and monsters in your life that's grabbing you, pulling you down, trying to make you stay where you're at, scaring you, and trying to make you do something you don't want to do, and you're fighting, trying to get out of it. You're trying to find a purpose, trying to get away from it, trying to leave that life alone. So you're fighting and you're battling. And I realized that's what that was. And I had to struggle through that every day at this point of feeling the way I've been feeling. And then I had another dream where I was walking from a library, and I'm walking and I'm seeing all these birds flying around me, and I'm like, what the heck is that? Why are these birds? That can never be good. Birds, black birds just flying all around you in a circle. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. I gotta get to where I gotta get. I'm trying to get to a destination. I'm trying to get to this point in my life. I'm trying to get there. And then a lady walks up in front of me and she says, you see that? And I look, and I'm like, see what? And I look behind me, and it's this bridge behind the mountain, the library, and it's a fog. And she said, yeah, I see it, but I don't know what it is. And I look, and I'm like, in that fog, it looked like the devil. And it's like a fog of a devil, like a face or whatever. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. So I start like trying to move, and I'm like, I'm not moving nowhere. I feel like I'm still in one place, but I'm trying to get out of it, and I'm trying to go, and I'm trying to hurry up, and it's still pulling me back. And it feel like the street is like collapsing as my body is going into it and grabbing me and grabbing me, and yet I'm still grabbing, trying to reach, and it's like I want to get out of this. I'm trying to get out of it. I don't want to go. I want to live. Even though it's hard and it's scary, but I'm trying, and I'm really, and it's scary, and I'm trying not to look behind me at it. I'm not trying to go backwards. And I'm just like, yeah, that's me trying to survive. It's not that I don't want to live no more. It's just that I just hate the life that I'm living. And then you got some people, everyone is experiencing, going through it, and that's not knocking no one else. But then some people just need a little more, just a little more of balance than others, and that's something I've experienced all my life since I was a little girl. My mom always told me, you're different, and then I always felt different, and then now I got a little one, I'm like, she's so different because the reasons why she's here, and spiritually, you can call it whatever you want, but that's what I'm going through, and it's like, I have a purpose, and it's something he wants me to be doing right now, and I'm just going through a lot to get there, and as hard as it is, and struggle, and mentally, it's more of a fight with him and me, because every time I think I'm doing the right thing, it's not the right thing, and every time I try to get to the right thing, I feel like I'm doing right, like the devil, like, oh no, you're doing too good. I see you trying to heal, or I see you trying to do better, so I'm gonna come stronger at you. And this time around, with those dreams, was telling me for a reason. And what I need to see, when I seen it today, and everything else that I needed to see, has helped me realize that I do have a purpose. And no, it's not going to be easy getting there. It's going to be a struggle. Because the more and more purpose you see you have, the more and more he's going to fight for you, and he's going to be against you. So whether I feel those feelings anymore, hopefully no, but I can't guarantee it, I can't promise you. But at least now, at this point of what I just experienced today with him, I'll have something to look at and say, oh yeah, oh, I need to remove this out of my life, or I should keep this in my life, or I need to do more of this and not that. So yeah, and even still, that no matter how many challenges I may go against and do wrong, he's going to always be there for me, to look out for me and protect me, and not leave my side. So as long as you accept that and understand it and be more kinder to yourself as a person, an individual, and as one of God's children, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or feel about you, or whatever they have to say. And sometimes just because people are in your life don't mean they have to stay in your life. Some people are just there for, like I say, a season, for a reason, and I'm learning that every day. And if you feel like that's a person that meant this to you and that to you and did this for you and did that for you. Number one, they did it because it was from their heart, and number two, they did it because that's what they're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't get brownie points for what you're supposed to do. And there's no reason why, if you choose not to be in that person's life no more, for whatever reason, don't feel bad, because your happiness is what matters. What you need for yourself is what matters. Not what's best for them is what's best for you. Doesn't make you a selfish person. It's okay to be selfish with yourself. It's okay to be kind to yourself. It's all self-care. It's all the way to life of what God wants for you. You know, I am a person of nature. I've always wanted to live in nature. I love being in nature. I love meditation. I love, anything that's going to make me feel grounded, because for so long with dealing with some of my mental, I'm just going to say mental off balance or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes, yeah, I need to feel grounded, because I don't always feel grounded. I don't always feel like I feel isolated or disconnected or all these things. So you got to do whatever you got to do to help you feel some of that. Because the world we live in today, we all going to experience some type of mental issues, physically, mentally, emotionally, all that, spiritually. We're going to feel all those things. So it's how we handle and we come out of it. And I've always been a person free going, free willing. Nature is just doing whatever I choose, and it's easier for me because then I'm not hurting anyone. No one is hurting me, and this is how God wants you to live. It's of nature. We're not here to stay. So we live in sin. We was born into sin, so we're gonna make all kinds of mistakes because no one is perfect. But having what I had for today, even though I had to be under the influence a little bit, which I have a medical card for that. But yeah, I needed that because I was at my breaking point. And people may smile every day, or you think they have it all together. And the stigma on mental issues is ridiculous, or the judgments, or everybody. They just want everybody to be on medication instead of actually dealing with the problem, finding a solution, or just trying to figure out what you like instead of trying to live through everybody else, or things that don't make you happy, or you just trying to be as normal as possible. Do what makes you happy. Do what that gut, that intuition, that little thing that you feeling you have is for a reason. And I'm learning that every single day. I can't live for everyone else and everything else and everybody else. I gotta live for me. The reason why he put us on this earth. And people don't realize that. And I get why. Because society and economics in the world of what we live in today, yeah, you don't have no choice but to try to fit in and be somewhat normal. Because that's what society shows us all day, that we have to be perfect. And we're not perfect. Because no one is perfect. God knows that. That's why he's always here to help us and trying to help us through our trials and tribulations and all the struggles and everything we go through. But it's up to you to believe in him, or to believe in yourself, to have some values, set boundaries. Boundaries are hard to keep because there's so many expectations. So yeah, I'm learning that every day. And because of what I'm experiencing or what I go through, I want to share with everyone else. I'm not ashamed of it. Hopefully what I have to say can help someone else. So yes, any comments or anything anyone wants to say or tell me or feel or what they're going through or whatever, that's fine. I'm all for advocating or whatever, but all I say is if you have a mental illness, don't let it define you, because it will. It will eat you alive. You will feel like you're not in your body. You'll feel like you're someone else. And it's like you feel like you're in a hole, always trying to get out that hole, always trying to reach and grab out the hole, because yeah, this is how society and everybody, they want you to be. And no, you don't have to be. And I'm not saying it's easy, it's not. But if it doesn't make you happy, then it's not you. If it's messing with your aura and your energy, yeah, try to change it. It's not gonna be easy. You take it one day at a time. And for me, it's always one moment at a time. But as long as I'm staying on the path of trying to get there and heal, because the body has a way of healing itself mentally, physically, emotionally. Yeah. And don't let people tell you that it's just a feeling. Okay, number one, first of all, is my feeling. And number two, feeling comes from somewhere. So till you figure out how to get to the source of that somewhere, you're always gonna feel nowhere. So yeah. Um, I could be on here for days. I could write a book, but at the end of the day, I don't know. Find you, whatever that looks like, even if it don't look like nothing or it looks like a bunch of mistakes along the way and flaws and all that. Still find you. So till next time, see you guys.